Great. So hopefully by now you've set up the free web hosting that comes with the Complete Web Developer course, and you've had a look around the control panel and the file manager to see how you can interact with your hosting. Now in this video I'm going to show you how to upload files using FTP. FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol, and it's a very common way of getting files onto your web space and editing them once they're already there. So I showed you the file manager last time in the last video, and that does a perfectly good job of doing this, but FTP really is more powerful and more flexible. So if you scroll down a little, we can see the FTP details for the domain right there. Now we have a feature called Ftp Lock on our systems. That's because FTP can be hacked. So if someone gets your FTP details, then they can get into your website, delete your files, put spam code into them, do all sorts of bad things. So to discourage that, our FTP is locked by default. And you can unlock it in one of two ways. You can either unlock it by your IP address, which is the way I would recommend it, or you can unlock it by time. Some people have a changing IP address, so if you've got that, then you'll need to do it by time. I wouldn't recommend unlocking FTP for a long period of time, simply because if it's unlocked, then it's available to be accessed by someone from a different computer if they manage to get your password. So I'd recommend unlocking by IP. So how do you find out what your IP address is? Very simple. If you just type into Chrome or Google, what is my IP? Google will tell you. There it is. So my IP address is 131.111.184.28. So I'm just going to copy that, paste it in there, and then unlock. Great, that's done. Okay, so now I know that FTP is unlocked, I can now get in and start doing things with my files. So here's my FTP username, here's my password. The FTP server is ftp dot and then the domain name, but that will only work if you've purchased the domain name and have linked it to us. So I'd recommend using the FTP server IP. That will work no matter what. So I advise using Fireftp as your FTP client. There's lots and lots of FTP clients out there, and if you've got another one that you use or someone's recommended to you, absolutely fine. But if you don't know which one to use, then go online and download Firefox. It's available for every platform, Windows, Mac and Linux. And then once you're there, search for Fireftp in Google and you'll get to this page, and then just click Add to Firefox. So Fireftp is a great add-on which allows you to do everything that you'll need to do with FTP. So I'll pause for a moment to give you a chance to do that. Okay, great. So once you've installed Fireftp, you should have this little button there. So click on that and that will load Fireftp. So it looks a little bit like this. I'll actually move it around a little bit. And if I bring in the left menu here, you can see local files. So Fireftp allows you to upload files from your computer to your server directly. So you could start off by building a website locally on your local machine and then uploading all the files in one go. So there's my website files that I've made so far. So how do we actually connect to our server? Well, we're going to create an account like that, and this is where we need the details from the page, so you can just copy and paste them here. So the username, I'm going to use that as the account name as well. The login is the domain name. Any test domain will work.com in my case. The password is that password there. It'll just be a random string of characters. And then the FTP server IP is that one, and that's the host name. So then we click OK and we connect. And there we go, fantastic. We're straight in. As I mentioned on the last video, all of your website files will be in the public HTML folder. So if I double click on that, it'll switch to that folder, and then I can see that index.html file that I created earlier. Now, the fantastic thing about Fireftp is it allows you to edit files live on the server. So if I press Command O, then that will open that file directly in my text editor. So in my case, Text Wrangler. If you're using a different text editor, it should just open up in that text editor. You can also right-click on the file and do a number of different things. You can choose which file you might want to open it with, or which program you want to open it with, etc. So if I go to that, I can now, let's change it again. So Rob's new index page, and I'm just going to go to File, Save, and it will actually update immediately on the server as well. I can just verify that by clicking my website. So Rob's new index page. So we'll be using that a lot during the PHP, MySQL and WordPress sections of the course, although the other sections of the course are mostly done offline. So what about if you've got a local file and you want to upload it to your server? That can be done very easily. So I'm just going to right click here and create a directory. In fact, we'll do it slightly easier than that. I'm just going to click on Bootstrap. I'm going to rename it because I don't want to upload something with a space in the name to the server. So I'll just call it Bootstrap with a small b. And then I'll click Upload. And you can see what it's doing there. It's uploading all of the files in that folder. So if I now have a little look at those files, we've got index.html. So let's switch over to Chrome and have a look at that. And fantastic. So that was the Bootstrap file that we created at the end of the Bootstrap section of the course, which I think looks pretty good. But the main point is, anything that you do on your local computer, all you need to do is go into Fireftp, connect to your FTP server, maybe create a folder if you want to keep things nice and organized, and then upload everything, and you'll be able to use it straight away. So that's one of the things that makes the Complete Web Developer course completely unique. No other course offers you the ability to upload your files and store them online in your own hosting and share them with the world straight away. So please make the most of that. Share your work with me and with your fellow students in the forum, and I look forward to seeing it.